Hello there, fellow humans. Welcome back to the Fudgie Show. This week we have a wonderful guest with us. She's been performing and teaching comedy for longer than I've been alive, and for the past few months, she's been me and Chris's and a few other people's comedy mentor. People of the world, this is Viv Gee.
I struggle with praise though, man.
Me too.
It's a weird one. Like, I think after having like played in live bands for so long, it gets whenever people come up and say that was really good, you kind of want to go. I know.
Aye.
I know. I fucking like. I know inside out, bro. Like, trust me. Like, do you think I just came up with that shit on the stage? No.
No, I always think it's bullshit. Like, because I never really tried too hard with music. Like, too hard after the Cherry Reds. After I got to a certain point, I stopped trying.
Yeah.
So people would come up and be like, "Oh, that was so good. That was so good." And I'd be like, "Thank you, you fucking liar."
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you haven't heard me play that shit at home. I could play it so much better.
Exactly. Well, do you want to start it there?
Hi, Viv.
Hello,
Viv.
hiya.
Welcome.
Thank you
Thank you
very
for being on the
much.
podcast.
Thank you for having me and giving me a nice cup of tea.
That's
I know.
Tony. Tony, in the background,
Tony
rocking
giving me
it
the
up.
cup of tea.
Aye, we just finished recording the episode with Tony, and he's thinking about being a wee tea boy.
Yeah,
We appreciate it. He's a good lad.
that's cool. I don't care what people say about you, mate. I don't. You're lovely.
Well, yeah, thank you for coming on, and a special thank you for the past 8 weeks and making us all into the somewhat amateur comedians we are so far.
Yeah.
You're very welcome. It's good to have you on it.
Yeah.
Aye.
It was a fun show.
It was.
And how long have you been involved doing ultra comedy for?
But Ultra, since about 2018, yeah. And did it go through lockdown? No, it didn't go through lockdown. So yeah, 2018, a little gap that everybody had. And
Yeah.
So you've been doing it about, like, in total, like, 4 years, if you're not including, like, COVID and stuff like that?
Yeah, but I used to teach at Strathclyde Uni.
Oh, did they do a comedy course?
They did a night class, so that was accredited and you could add it towards stuff and all that. And that started in 1998. So I did that right up to 2020. And then they sort of stopped it during lockdown and put things online, and then, they just cancelled
That's
that
so
one.
cool that they did that. You know,
They
I've
did.
recently
It
talked to someone about
was-
that they should do that.
I know there's a
Ah.
university down in, that I might say, or Bristol, that do a course that's been quite notorious for being, like, the only accredited, like, daytime, full-time course you can
See,
go and do
that
comedy.
one's during the day. Yeah, that one
Mhm.
just started. Because when mine started, I was getting, like, I was in something like 20 different newspapers because they thought I was a degree in comedy. I was on, like, World Service, Women's Hour. Richard and Judy's researchers phoned me to see if I was free to get me on the show, and by that time I thought, there's no way I'm going on this, because to me this was my little cheeky Saturday job nobody would know about while I'm not gigging.
Yeah.
And suddenly it was like everyone was going, and I just thought, I can't
I can't do that.
and they were all going, how can you teach people to be funny? And I just going, I don't know, I've never done it yet. But I still say you don't teach people to be funny, just to be funnier
yeah.
with what you have. And if you don't know what it is that made people laugh, I can't do anything for you.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. It's to a certain degree, it's up to the actual recipient of the learning, isn't it? It's
Aye.
the learner to actually. It's their responsibility to.
It
look at
is. So anyone that's
themselves.
shy, it's their response.
It's
You heard
not
it,
your
guys.
fault.
That's it.
Have you seen any of Viv's students and they were shit? It's not her fault.
No.
No.
And I can attest to that because...
And
no,
neither of the
100%.
brilliant ones down to me either. It's just, I'm a
We were talking about this.
vehicle.
I knew you would say this.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, did you?
Aye,
and you're
okay,
humble as hell, right?
No,
And I do agree to you to some extent, but it's like, this is what I was saying. We all love Luke Skywalker, right? But come on, Obi-Wan and fucking Yoda, they've had a part to play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we all love it. So I'm interested. So
yeah,
you've
but
been.
we preferred Han, and they had no part in Han.
That's very true. I don't
So
see. I'm the
you're-
freak who
you're-
likes the Jedi's. I'm like, oh man, you can do shit with your mind. I love it. Which is more equivalent to what? Well, no,
Yeah.
then Hannah is a good
So
gunslinger with a
both
mouth.
can do just as well, but there will be a dark side.
It certainly is. But so you've been doing
that's
comedy for how long now?
For comedy itself, since like 94.
I was
Since
1
probably
year old.
before you were all. I know you'd say something like that.
That's
Yeah,
lovely.
yeah.
You've been doing
I
it
was
since.
2.
That reference is you've been doing it as long. It's when Dookie put out Green Day and Kurt Cobain killed himself.
There you go.
Yes.
So was one of those things the trigger to start comedy?
Well, weirdly, I was doing a gig because I used to do poetry, and I was doing a gig at the Edinburgh Peace Festival in '92, and a guy that was there was the roadie with Nirvana.
All right.
He was a Scottish guy, and nothing to do with what happened, but at the Peace Festival, the double act I did called Gentle Rants, which we wore t-shirts that said "Die Yuppie Scum," and the guy I used to do it had like a shaved head, and I wore like fake sort of glasses, and we just did shouting "fuck off" to people and stuff. And I did this poem about Buckhaven, this place that I nearly got attacked, and I hated the place. And these two people from Buckhaven tried to batter me, so I had to get escorted out by bouncers. So
Well, that's just
it was
proving
a
your point.
Yeah.
You got a sequel to that poem or something?
Now's the time, Viv.
You can always come back to that with that extra material.
I love how ludicrous that is. We're just telling people to
It was
fuck off.
ludicrous. Yeah. And the guy that was doing the double act with, he'd done boxing stuff. He goes, "Yes, this is what we want. We want to be feared and hated. We don't want to be loved or respected."
Like, shit.
And I was like, "Oh, this is not for me."
It gets very serious and artsy in that scene, doesn't it?
It does. Oh, yeah.
Who wants to be hated, man? Like,
I know. I was scared.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
I can imagine. It's not fun.
I had to walk to a taxi I couldn't afford, so I walked right out the other door.
We've all been there. You just drop me down here, pal.
yeah,
Right.
Get in that taxi. And they'll wait, right?
just stay. I'll pay you to stay. It's cheaper, right? Just stay.
Oh no, so since 94 and you've been teaching it, did you say 98?
Yeah.
That's what, like 25 years you've been teaching?
Aye.
I was
damn.
watching you on a podcast and you mentioned who was on the first course.
Yeah, Des was on it. Des McLean, Des Clark. I think they were the two that are still doing it. Kira Murphy, I think she was doing it as well. And they were in the first course. Yeah,
That's
it's still
crazy.
doing it. Yeah.
Some good alumni there.
Aye, it is.
You'd accept
Yeah,
that.
absolutely. Susan McCabe did it. Mark Nelson did it. Billy Kirkwood did it. Richard Gadd, who won an Edinburgh Prize. I can't remember who else actually.
I would love to
Loads.
see
Jay
like a
Lafferty did it.
list. You know, just
Yeah.
who have you had to
There'll be
add
someone
in?
I'll forget. Yeah. Fudgie McFadden did it.
Is that
Yep.
that guy?
Yep, he did it. Yep.
That's who's to blame.
That's the one that fucked it all up. There were some of us that are tolerable on the thing, so thank you very much.
Fuck me, even Billy Kirkwood. I've been following him for ages because of ICW and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm following his stuff.
He's brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to catching his stand up. Can imagine it'll be a good time.
Yes.
So how much has Scottish comedy changed over the years?
Definitely, social media has changed everything, right? Because it used to be if you wanted a gig, you'd go to the West End and walk down Barrs Road and hope you bumped into someone that ran gigs. That's how you did it.
Jesus.
Or you looked at the List magazine, what's coming up, and you could go and watch the gig and maybe speak to them and stuff. And then you'd have an answer machine message on your landline, and you'd go home and go, "Oh my God, I've got a call."
That's so wholesome.
Isn't it?
Love
It
that.
was so lovely. It was brilliant. And I think it's bitchier now, but maybe that's because you're more aware of everyone that's about. And I think because people can now do their own comedy, it's opened it up to different kinds of comedy, which I think is good. But I don't know how to. I'm just glad that I'm not starting it now like you are.
Yeah.
That's what I would say. Yeah. Because I actually hate publicising myself online. I hate all that. I don't want to talk to a camera and talk about myself and that. I just hate it.
Me
Yeah,
too.
it's cringy.
It's cringy as fuck, isn't
It's
it?
the in-person personal
It
statement.
is.
Isn't it? It's
And
weird.
sometimes you get asked to make a wee video to promote a gig you're doing, and you go, "Hi, I'm doing," and you're thinking, "I'm going to nobody's going to come watching
Yeah.
that."
Like
Yeah.
this is called the Fudgie Show, and I cringe every time but it's like it's in branding, but it's I hate it.
I know. I was thinking that.
Same, yeah.
It's valid.
I'm
No.
trying to quietly tell him for a while.
But I like my last course that I did, the Ultra one. They only got 3 weeks to try and sell all the tickets, so it was cancelled like quickly. But they were also disappointed that we still did the gig, and they've still got a Facebook page that I still talk to them, and we still do stuff.
That's good.
And they says, we'll set up a poster for the gig we're going to do, and they put my face on it. Viv Gee's comedy class presents, and I was cringing like fuck. Yeah,
It's accurate, but it is. I hate self promotion. I
it's
hate
that, and yeah, aye.
I think there's something. I think like see someone else like I've always done music and stuff like that. So see having constantly heard my own voice and stuff like that. I hate hearing my own voice.
Right,
It's
yeah.
weird to me watching the video back for the stand up I did. I'm like, that's not how I fucking sound, is it? But it is.
Yeah,
But it's not how I perceive myself. And I think the same thing happens whenever you see your face on something. You kind of just go, no.
yeah.
No.
With me, actually, it's not even anything to do with the photo or anything. It's to do with the fact that it looks like I love myself, because I'm going, come and see me. This is me. Here I
Poppy
am.
syndrome, isn't it?
And
Yeah.
I would love like a Banksy fame. How amazing would that? Not I'm saying that I've
Yeah,
got
yeah.
fame. I've got none. But I remember like, would it have been like probably 1997 or something like that? They used to put poems on the underground, right? They
Right,
put
yeah.
big posters. I've had 2 of them up, and one of them, the first one that was up, right? Massive poster, Viv Gee at the bottom, right? And I was standing waiting on a tube, and there was 2 girls discussing this poem, talking about it, liking it, and getting it
that's
completely
cool.
wrong. But it was their idea. They can take it how they like it. It was
Beautiful.
interesting. It was just the best feeling, because they had no idea this was me.
Nah, it's
I
right,
loved
yeah.
the idea that they had no idea who the person was.
That's so
That's
true.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's actually what you said there. Kind of triggered a thought in me. One of the beautiful things about art in general, whether it be music, poems, or like comedy, which is what I want to tie it into, is once you've done it and you've said it. More with comedy, it kind of comes down to once you've recorded and putting it out on, like, say, a special or something like
Aye.
that. It comes down to everybody's individual interpretation of it.
Yes.
So,
yes.
What do you think about that? Because I've heard like Ricky Gervais and Frankie Boyle talking about it more in the reference to offence.
Right.
They're
They're talking about being taken and stuff.
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
So what Frankie says, I think it's in his last last days of Sodom special, I think it is. He says, the joke doesn't happen in my mouth; it happens in your head. Once you've received it all, and how you interpret what my intent was
Yeah.
and stuff. That's kind of how we're. So what do you think about all that sort of stuff? Because it's interesting to me. It's a fun bit of this whole thing that we need to navigate.
Yeah. I think it's all in the context of the person's politics, actually, that's speaking as well. So you know what the context is. And certainly with Frankie, he's actually left-wing, and if people think, oh, that sounds racist, it's not. He's actually highlighting to you why.
How ridiculous it is.
Yeah, and then I've taught so many people to go, I just want to be Frankie Boyle, I just want to offend people. And they think being racist and homophobic is, but it isn't what he does. He's highlighting it, and he's cleverly doing it. And so I think offence is taken, but there are some people have taught their object is to be offensive. What's offensive? I want to say it. And I just think, but most of the time it isn't funny though. So
No,
what's the
100%.
point? What is the
It's a
point? And you're
very
usually if you're going to be punching down, then why is that funny? We're laughing at the bully when usually the person that's bullied is the comedian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very difficult thing to pull off, and
Aye.
I've very rarely seen it done well. I think one person I've seen done it well when watching old videos of it on YouTube would have been Jerry Sadowich's show.
Yeah,
Doing
yeah.
that, like he that's his thing, and it's in the context of his.
But even
art form.
sometimes we're laughing because we know he's punching down, therefore saying these people shouldn't be punched. I feel I can't speak for him
no,
or anybody.
No, obviously, but
but I
within
know
the
what you
art
mean.
form, it makes
Yeah,
sense. That's the
yeah.
context of what comedy does. Most of the time, it's you're laughing at me because I'm the prick. Like if you write
Exactly.
a racist character in a program to be
Exactly.
hated, he should be there doing these things because that is why he's there in that show. He's not there to be liked, but he's fulfilling a purpose there. Sorry, that's a really difficult one to articulate.
No, I know what you're saying. Yeah, completely.
I was looking at audio level.
I mean, I do think the audience have to like you to find you funny, but that doesn't mean you've got to be complimenting them and being really nice. You can still be whatever. Because, I mean, you'll know yourself that I can always offend somebody because someone might have just been to the dentist that day and hates their teeth. They're offended. Do you know what I mean? I've been in audiences that I don't get offended by it because it's something personal to me they've said. I get hurt and reminded of it, but I don't blame them because they're not saying it because you know, her granny's just died. I'm going to do a joke about granny's dying. They don't know that, but I'm like, oh no, man, I feel a bit sad about that. Oh, they had cancer. I feel sad. They're not saying it to hurt me, and I think that's when the offensive, when it's like. Like, for instance, me and my husband, right, I actually felt not offended, but can you be affarists, right? That's offended and embarrassed. We went to see Moses Storm.
That story's feeling in that bloody
all right,
thing,
keep going.
We went to see Moses Storm. He's a guy that writes for Arrested Development, and he was in a cult, and he gets everyone to wear white robes during the festival, right? And he spoke to me, my husband, and he says, "You guys look like an advert for the missionary position." That's what he said. And I was like, oh my God, what? Fuck.
You bastard.
So that was like, but at the same time I thought, oh my God, is this what I do to people when I kind of slag them a bit?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And I felt a bit, and you know, I think it's because I thought, he's right. Which is why I felt more like,
fuck.
But it was a moment of, oh man, all right, yeah, I'm not that cool person I thought I was. I'm someone that looks like, you know what I mean?
Was it Roger said to me in the last podcast? What did he call me again? He called me fucking Susan Boyle. I thought that was incredible. I was like, you cheeky bastard. And it fucking sits you in the back foot and you realise I do this to people all the time. Like, I'm kind of big and like happy and welcoming and stuff like that as a person, but I'll say things that I'm like, oh shit, that to the wrong like mindset, that would have fucking ruined the day. That would have ruined the day. And I'm like, oh, damn it. Did the people pleaser come and tries to apologise?
I think it's all intention as well. Is like, I don't want anyone to leave a gig I'm doing feeling shit about themselves.
Nah. And laughing, there's like grooming in
it. I don't want, because sometimes you see comedians and there's a feeling of them setting the rest of the room on that person when it's not deserved, and you know, I don't like that. It
feels like you're participating in bullying, doesn't it? A little bit.
It does. I don't think I see it as much, actually. I see more audiences being idiots, and I think Coke has changed comedy, actually.
Reckon?
Oh, completely. Because it used to be like, this is her sniffing.
That's how fucking time that
It used to be like, oh, got a really drunk audience. Now it's drunk's nothing compared to coked, because it's people that have got a bit more control and think they're amazing.
Yeah, okay.
They're harder work.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's fun to watch, isn't it?
I know.
See, I think
there's sorry.
I was just going to say, I think there's a duality that you're talking about there. See, when you were saying you don't want folk to feel shit. You know, obviously we all go into comedy because we want to make people laugh.
Yeah.
That's the baseline level. Yeah, that we have some horrible attention needing in ourselves that we're trying to fix.
Of course.
Probably a beautiful mix of the two. But I tend to find that, see, the people pleasing side of me wants to make people laugh, and that's the side they can often trip up and drop some shit on someone. I'm like, oh, you weren't ready for that joke. You know, you weren't ready to talk about your fucking hair today.
I think though, because you're so self-deprecating, people accept it more.
Yeah.
So it's fine. Yeah.
Good. I'll bear that in mind.
It's just interesting seeing all the equipment that nobody will see on the video, right? Because I've just been reading Adam Bloom's book, which it actually is the kind of, and it's called the Finding Your Comedy Genius or the Secret Genius of Comedy or something. But it's fantastic. It's brand new. But he does say it's more for people that are already doing it.
Yeah.
But he talks about the boom mic moment in comedy. So, you know how when you're watching telly and you see the boom mic and suddenly it throws you, even though you know you're watching telly and you know there's a crew. But when you see that mic in the shot, you're like, all right. And he talks about that in comedy, like when people talk about, oh, last gig I was doing, or oh, that's a funny joke. And now that he said it, I can't allow it anywhere now with people teaching. I hear them say it and I think he's right. And what it does is, even though the audience know you're a person on stage, you've probably done these jokes before, But as soon as they actually tell the audience, I did this joke before and this happened, the audience are like, all right, this isn't just off the tongue. This isn't just for us. This is just...
Yeah.
You hear people say sometimes, well, that's a funny joke, that should have got more of a laugh. And you just...
Oh.
There's no point. Just...
It doesn't work like
boom
that.
mic moment. I just thought, that's great.
Quite like that.
How do you feel about when someone was to do it who goes, right, I told that joke here, and then tells about how someone reacted about it and then makes a joke out of that?
So he talks about that as well. He says, kind of maybe, oh God, I can't remember it. I have to reread that, but I'm sure he says something about that's okay if your whole thing is about, if it's while you're telling it and then you go, you're saying it to the audience you're with last time the audience. I don't know. I'll have to, oh God, I don't know. But I know what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. That's an interesting one, because I saw Tom Segura did that in his special.
Yeah, a lot of people do it. A lot of people. But sometimes people just sort of throw the audience and...
Yeah.
I mean, like everything, there's no set rules.
Yeah, obviously.
But it's a good thing for the majority
especially
of the time.
us at the level we're at.
All of us. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
I've lost my train of thought.
It's because you've been taken.
I know. What time are we at? How long have we been so far?
I've been about 16 hours now. It's just in...
That was the feeling for you.
No, I'm only saying that because nobody knows.
I think
out
about
there.
25 minutes, mate.
That's fine, I'll keep going.
Yes.
What's your favourite thing about like teaching comedy?
About teaching comedy?
Mm-hmm.
Seeing people surprise themselves. I love seeing people like... Especially if I've said, why don't you try this? And they take direction well, they do it and they realise what they've done and they're able to redo it again.
Mm-hmm.
And they know what they've just... I love that moment. And I love people that are maybe shy or they've never found what they love in life. Do you know what I mean? And suddenly they've just got, oh, wow, this is just... I love the art of it, though. I love breaking it down. I love how things... It's like a crossword puzzle, and if we move that bit and we just... Yeah,
I love hearing people talk about the art of it. Like, I've seen a lot of podcasts, a lot of comedians will be like, we're talking shop now. Do you really think people are interested in this? And I'm like, 100% keep talking,
well,
go.
That's the people that are going to listen to the podcast. So
No, totally.
100%.
I think specialising is always better than generalising.
It's always more interesting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know you're quite like this, and I'm the same. Like hobby fiends, we find something and then we just obsess for it at least the next 6 months.
Yes, I do that.
There's something to think about. I think a lot of comics do that because you've got a lot of like, then you get material from that and things to reference from.
Yeah.
That's a good way to justify it. Thanks for that, man.
Yeah, like getting married and then you have a divorce and then you've got something else.
It's all material.
Buy a dog, get rid of a dog. That's 2 fucking bits right there.
That's what I used to say when I was writing like my last album. All the album I'm writing now. It's about a lot of like...
Is this the one I've heard?
The sent the demos off.
Sounds brilliant.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Hopefully dropping next year.
Yes.
A lot of that's about a lot of like shit things that happened, and I remember after I wrote the song, I was like, oh, thank fuck I got a song out of that. Thank fuck.
Yeah.
And then,
There's a... I say that to people I'm teaching as well. I'm like, switch your headphones off, sit in the bus, and you missing the bus and getting splashed by the puddle and all of that is actually useful.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Everything,
Adversity.
there's something...
Totally.
Yeah.
There's this weird guy to bring up, but Machine Gun Kelly, on one of his songs, he talks about how much his label hates that he needs to put himself through so much fucked up shit to keep writing music. And it's like, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Writes it a lot better, articulates it a lot better
But you
than
also
that.
find that when you do comedy, you do see more things because you're not... Things don't always happen. You see something in that could be a possibility that could have happened. It's something you're looking at as well. So your mind's just open to it. You have opened a new part of your brain. I totally believe that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think so. I think it sounds really strange, but since starting the course, I found that anything that shit that's happened to me, instead of being like, oh, for fuck's sake, that's happened, it's now kind of like, right, what's funny about this?
That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
Try to break that apart back then, it'd been funny.
Aye.
So
yeah.
it's like instantly try to find a positive. It's a good thing that way.
Helps.
Absolutely. And you do find that people have been through a really traumatic thing. Or like, for instance, there you've got Gloria talking about her cancer and everything.
Uh-huh.
But she did it so cleverly that at no point did the audience go, oh, because she was like, and this is what I did, I punched it in the dick.
Super high energy.
Oh, she's incredible. Yeah, it's just brilliant.
Mm-hmm. Like, that's even something I've found, like, fuck me. this time last year I was in the pit. Like, not anything bad, won't go into it, but since, and I've been kind of reeling from that this year.
Yeah.
But since I went, fuck it, I'm just going to do this course.
Yeah.
It's insane how much better I've been. Like,
Honestly,
everyone
that's
around me, like,
amazing.
this is mad seeing
And
what
then
you're
6
doing.
months in your scene, you'll be like, oh.
Right back in it. Right
No, but
back in it.
that's incredible though. Yeah.
And I've got a lot to thank you for that, so thank you.
No,
Oh, yeah.
Being one of those.
a fucking sook in
I'm
there.
gonna be sick, sick.
Bloody golden straw over there, mate.
But
No, that is the kind of, that's why it's lovely. That's what I enjoy about it though as well, is people do find their own potential. And like you said earlier, Chris, about people wouldn't do the course if they didn't think they're funny. I totally, absolutely believe that as well.
Yeah.
Even when they're not funny, they will still, somehow they
that's
think they're
right.
funny, or they've got, I just love people who think, I know, I've got the sense of humour that nobody gets shit, but they manage to do it on stage and there's like that
Yeah, no, I
uniqueness.
totally agree.
Yeah.
It's like there's a few folk that I know that are a bit older, and they kind of have what I call a pub sense of humour,
Right.
and it's a weird one to me. Like you'll be talking about something. Say for example, a pun came up, for example, about cameras, for example, and I'd be like, "Oh, it hasn't clicked yet," or something. You're like a wee pun, a wee
Yeah,
haha.
nice.
Look at that. Like sometimes you get this response where it's just you just get like Canon, and you're like, do you know what I mean?
Aye.
And you're left there just like, oh
That's so
fuck,
stupid.
is this? I feel like I need to laugh
Yeah.
here, like to save face, and I wish I could have been there when one of them went into that course, because you'd see
You get a lot of pub guys.
you'd
Yeah, aye.
shit the bed.
And without fail, and there was, maybe a couple of people in our class that did it as well, and they wanted to do old jokes because of that fear of not getting a laugh, when actually we're in the place where all of us,
Yeah,
all of you, that when they dropped that and they realise, actually, you can come up with your own stuff and be even funnier.
yeah,
Because as soon as people hear a joke they think they recognise, or has got the same kind of formulaic shite, they don't trust anything you say.
Oh,
Yeah,
I've
that's very
experienced.
true.
I've seen it in. I went to Red Raw, and I won't mention names, but someone went up and did a reformulated, more like personalised version of them of a Frankie Boyle joke that I recognised, and I went,
Yeah.
oh.
Shade
I
as a
know,
cover.
I know.
Uh-huh.
See, when I first started teaching and I was looking for like videos and stuff so I could give examples of structure, I watched loads of videos, actual VCRs by the way. I watched loads of videos, different comedians, and I could not believe how many people I knew had been ripping people off. Like,
Oh really?
so many. Even the person I was in a double act with had ripped people off and got us both to do it. And I confronted them on
son of a
that,
bitch.
and I totally.
Must have happened all the time
And-
before, like easy access to video.
Well, the thing is, people couldn't check it as much. I sometimes actually, if I hear someone, they're doing material that I'm teaching, and then this cracker comes out, I will Google it. And
Yeah.
I think, I knew it. That isn't theirs. And I don't want to let them.
Don't Google any of our stuff.
100%.
Skeletons in the cupboard.
No, it wasn't good enough. But when it's really good,
Okay, well, I hear that too often these days.
Brilliant. Oh, no, that must be. I couldn't like. The worst I ever did was reused someone's melodies for a wee project I was doing in college.
Right.
So reused the melody, and it was from an Esperanza song.
Oh, yeah,
Shout
yeah.
out. And my lecturer was like, "Here, Fudgie, that's so good. We need to like get in the studio and record that." And I was like, "Mate, it's not mine. I can't."
Yeah.
It's like,
Good
"You
for
wee
you
dick."
admitting it,
I know.
though.
I
Aye,
had to
yeah,
right away. I was like, "It's not
Aye.
mine." I was short for time to think
like
of a
someone
melody.
did a Lily Savage joke, but it was actually nice the way they did it, I thought, because I mean, he died not long ago, and at least they went, and this is theirs. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's fine.
Yeah,
I think it was
I
a nice
agree with
moment.
that.
But yeah, you don't steal.
It's just it's so dodgy. Like again, as a musician, if someone stole my song and just like fucking played my song and changed, I think I'd go off the nut at them,
Yeah,
because you know
yeah.
how long it takes you to write that
Oh,
shit
aye,
down to
aye.
figure it out to make
Yeah.
it pop, and it's the same for comedy.
And then you've got
This
the
one's so long.
personalised aspect
It's
to it
worse
as
when
well.
you're, yeah.
Yeah,
So you're going to take some
It's
personal
stealing a
offence
bit of your
to it.
life. Yeah, Aye, I've had that definitely.
yeah,
yeah.
that's very true. It's nicking about
It
your
is.
life. It's nicking your experience.
I think a lot of people out with like the artsy sort of fields won't get that, and will be like, "Oh, fuck it."
Yeah.
not exactly stealing. Like a lot of people say you can't like trademark jokes and stuff. No, you can't because it doesn't really work.
Yeah.
But we police ourselves
There's
in
an
that sort of
etiquette.
world.
Yeah,
Mhm.
aye. This notion that, there's only 7 stories, there's only this, that's bullshit. Do you know what I mean? There's definitely similarities, and a lot of people had the same kind of content in the class because it just becomes the zeitgeist almost.
Yeah.
But you can still recognise that's that person's perspective on it. That's theirs. That's a different attitude towards it. Do you know?
Exactly,
So
like
it's all
those-
right.
Aye, like there's only so many fucking chord progressions and stuff like that,
Yeah.
but you put your own spins
How you
on things.
decorate
Yeah.
it, how you do
Well,
it.
wait a minute. There's only 9 single digits, isn't there?
Yeah.
But you cannot. I couldn't tell you what your PIN code was. So it's that kind of thing.
You probably
Yeah.
could. I'm
I
very
probably
simple.
could. Is it 0000? Not that I was
fuck.
counting it.
He's upgraded.
Are you a magician too? No, that's
And
class.
sleep.
No,
You
brilliant.
start pulling shit out of a hat, I'm fucking off, man. I don't like this. I'm allergic to rabbits, mate.
Hats out my shit.
Oh, brilliant.
That's like when I first came onto the course, I knew I was going to do jokes about being fat. Like if I didn't
Right,
do
okay.
that, why the fuck? What am I doing? Like that'd be
So
bizarre.
I'm
you
going
know?
to say something, right? And there's some people that do jokes about how you look, right?
Yeah,
About,
yeah.
But I think you're someone that if you weren't the size you are, I think you'd still be funny as fuck.
100%.
Cool.
Like I
Because
think
you're a clever writer, a clever comedian, and you just find someone else.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
I'd like to think
Um,
so, but like it's hard to go mining for gold when someone's already delivered fucking cauldrons of the shit to you.
Exactly,
You know? And it's like,
exactly.
I might as well just use this.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
when I
or-
first came in and I had like Paul Sweeney obviously did some jokes about being a big guy as well. And like you look around the room and you see other big folk and I'm like, fuck off my turf.
I know,
I'm like,
that's
don't
mad,
you
isn't
steal
it?
my
Yeah.
fucking jokes before
And
you
then
even
you've got
start.
someone else that talked about being big that actually wasn't that big at all.
Yeah,
So it didn't make sense because we're thinking, but
that's not the focus, bro.
yeah.
That's not what we're thinking. Like, whoa.
I remember when I was in my mid-20s and stuff, I used to talk about being, I'm such a dog, and the guys would say this, and my friend says to me, "You're not a dog. You can't say that."
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And then, yeah, I'm a human. No, but do you know what I mean? So you have to know what people are seeing
Yeah,
Yeah.
and go with it.
I
Yeah,
totally agree with that.
I would struggle.
she doesn't say that now, but then.
No, fair.
Things have changed. Just write material for the future. I'm really start writing jokes about being old and I'll fucking get to them later on.
So I'm really actually looking forward to seeing what your next 5 or your next bit will be, because I think because I think once the fat stuff's out the way and you go a bit harder, it's gonna be really good.
Well, that's the thing. Like Tony was saying earlier on, like the thing I didn't want, like with music and stuff. I started off playing clarinet. I played in an orchestra.
Oh,
I went
wow.
over, I went over to play like bands and stuff like that. And I always found that I was always kind of looking for people's approval when I was making stuff. Just like look
Right,
at that.
okay.
I can't read music, but I can do this.
Right.
That kind
Yeah.
of thing. Whereas in comedy, I've kept this as a sacred thing where I just don't want to put on any kind of act. Ironically, I just want to talk shit, and like
Yeah.
I don't always think about being fat. Do you know what I mean? So there's going to be a lot more, stupid shit that's not to do with that, and I do want to do it without thinking about. Like obviously, you're always going to write looking for laughs,
Yeah,
right?
but-
But not approval.
But
if you know
just
what I mean.
the way you were on stage, right? There was a real kind of coolness, and the stage was yours, right? It was just great. And
Just because I
it-
take up the majority. Of
no, right, okay. But there was a feeling though that you made being fat cool, if I can say that.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
was just like it seemed like you were empowering from it.
Yeah.
Like at no point did I think this guy hates himself.
No, that's the goal for me.
Yeah.
I wanted to take a piss out of being fat without making people feel sorry for me.
Yeah.
That's why I started
yeah.
off with no, stop it. No, you're not, because like that's I guarantee the people
So it was.
thinking about that. I'm like, fuck that.
Aye,
Let's get this out of the way.
aye.
I think that's silly.
Yeah.
Let's
yeah.
continue.
But also what he did, and it's a hard thing for people to do, is that you actually have to know what people are seeing
Oh, for sure.
because you are the first joke. They put on the comedy first, and then
Fair dues.
aye,
It's a good start.
It's very
It's
cool.
a giggle and a dance.
Yeah.
Good combo.
And you've just started that was it the joke gym? Was that the new material?
Aye, we
night?
just thought we'd. It was Julia Sutherland that mentioned it, but she used to run. I used to MC at Yes Bar, right, which was Great
That
gig,
must
by
have
the
been
way.
good.
It was amazing, right? And she did the new material night on the Wednesday, right? And it was just brilliant because, like, she's like loads of people would just pop in, like Kevin Bridges would just pop in, but it was never publicised who was coming because it was open for them to be able to just come anytime.
Yeah.
So this is re-happening, and so I think it'll be pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, and the lineup you had there for the first one was great. That was such a good show.
I'm glad. I mean, it's quiet, but I think it'll build up.
It was interesting as well because you had a couple of people that you just pulled in from upstairs, and they were hilarious.
They were actually really nice,
They were nice.
weren't they?
They were lovely.
Because usually when someone gets something for free, they're more of a cunt.
Really?
Oh God, I know. Yeah, because
Fuck me. That's good. You're getting fuck all for free.
and then they're like, well, it isn't worth anything then. So and there's almost
Perceived value, right?
yeah,
Yeah, I get that.
yeah.
That's good to know. But,
So aye.
Was it there was a thing on Facebook I saw a wee while ago, and it was like a world-class violinist, and he was playing in I think it was the American Underground, somewhere, I don't know, New York Underground or something, and people were just walking past him,
Yeah.
you know, not giving a shit. He was playing on a $6 million violin or something,
Wow.
like that, something ridiculous. Like, if you knew your violin at all, and you saw this guy, you'd shit the knickers. They'd be like, you know,
Context and everything.
exactly.
Yeah.
And then that night he went and played in one of the Royal Philharmonic places, and people were paying hundreds of dollars a ticket to see him. And they just walked past
But
him.
that's art all over, isn't it? You put a picture on the wall, say that's a fiver, it must be shout.
Aye,
Yeah.
exactly.
Aye.
I was going to start putting
That's
fucking
why it's
ludicrous
£25.
price tags on things.
I mean, and it's, do you know what, it was worth every penny.
Do you know what it was?
And
That
our
was
show was
actually
100%
worth
worth
100%.
Aye.
100%. A bunch of new people being that funny.
Aye.
I'll take
Aye.
that.
I know.
Come on now.
I know it
Yeah.
was good. So you've got the new material night. Is there anything coming up?
Well, I will be doing the comedy festival, Glasgow Comedy Festival in March.
Awesome.
So I'm going to do 23rd of March. And I'm going to do during the day. I thought I'll do that because then I've got chances at gigs at night. And I've got one now, but it's
There you
in
go.
Aberdeen. but anyway,
Jesus.
so 3 o'clock, 23rd of March at the Glad Cafe. Glad Cafe, I love that.
Amazing. It
Yeah.
sounds good. Sounds like a song, doesn't
Old
it?
Dog New Tricks it's called because as I say in my blurb, I say sell out front 2 shows, rows at the Edinburgh Fringe because fuck all people came. So rows of 4 sold out.
There was 8 people there. Ideal.
Okay,
Perfect.
but I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I'll come down for that. I'm sure we'll get a ticket.
Aye, brilliant.
So I want to see some of your stand up. I want to see it live.
Aye, well you did well. Compare is
Compare,
Some
aye.
people think
That's the thing, there is stand up in there, obviously. It's
Aye.
extra, isn't it? It's,
people are funny actually because they do come up to you when you compare and say, "Oh, you're really funny. You should do comedy as well." And you're like,
oh,
"What's that?"
thanks, mate.
Yeah. Aye.
I'm so
Yeah.
glad you noticed.
I appreciate that.
It's so funny because you did a joke when you were doing comparing the joke the new comedy night, and I'm not going to say what the joke was, but it didn't work well. But I'm like, oh, give that a year or so, and yeah, that's going to be a great joke. It's a great joke. We'll talk about it afterwards, but it's a great joke. It's a great joke. Probably not that long. Depends. We'll talk about it afterwards.
No idea what it was. Because I was MC, it could have been off the cuff.
Yeah.
Because you tend to, as well.
Read the room well and stuff like that.
Aye. And
That's something
just-
forward to in the next course, like learn how to
I'll do a wee bit
grapple
MC.
with
Aye,
that kind of
aye,
thing.
yeah.
That sounds fun. And the heckler put downs.
Oh, aye, yeah.
Oh, I enjoy the
That
idea
was-
of that.
that'll be
Aye,
fun.
yes.
Just think, so you've got comedy festival, any other things you want to punt for next year?
Do you know, I'm going to leave here and think, oh, why didn't I not say that? Why didn't I not say that?
But
So,
we can add it in the
If you think of
description
anything, you let us know.
there will be just, whatever.
stuff. Oh, and
Go see
we're-
live comedy, that's what they say.
Exactly, go see
Support
live
live comedy.
Support your scene. And
So true.
so where can people find you on social media and stuff?
Google.
Google Viv Gee and you'll find it.
Smoke signal like shit.
See, I don't even have a website or stuff. I'm Viv Gee on Facebook and Instagram. I've only just recently gone on to. I'm not quite sure how it works.
I'm the same.
I don't get this.
Yeah.
I'm scared of. I don't know about you, right? See if you're like on the toilet and you go to click, so you think I'm going to film myself. I accident. It just scares me.
Yeah.
Whenever you turn the camera on for real and you just see yourself how you look for a second, mouth breathing, having a fucking... You're like, oh, that's me. Jesus, that's me.
Aye.
My phone's seen some sights. It doesn't need to broadcast its thoughts like that.
That was close to a joke I was going to make. I'm not going to. I'm going to leave it on a good note of you sitting on the toilet. Thank you, Viv, for coming in.
Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed that.
So hopefully,
Yes.
got to get you in soon in the next year.
Yes, with the joke being better. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Right, bye. Thank you.
Awesome. Yes, thank you.
Aye, the joke.